Hari Om. Let us now continue with the topic of the Atma, in which we are examining the nature of the Atma, the features of the Atma. The first feature that we are looking at is Atma Chaitanya Swarupaha or Chid Swarupaha. Like we saw, the word Swarupaha is a very important and significant word from which many ideas and corollaries can be derived. Swarupaha by itself means of its own nature. Therefore, the, the expression Chaitanya Swarupaha or Chidrupaha is another expression that is used in our Shastras, means that the Atma, when you say Atma Chid Swarupaha or Chidrupaha, it means that Atma enjoys Chaitanyam as its very intrinsic nature. That's what it means. So we are looking at that feature of the Atma. Let's continue our study. The word Chit and the like occur in our daily prayer verses. Even before we step into the portals of Vedanta, much before that, our acharyas and our shastras have so ingeniously included such terms related to the Atma in our daily prayers. That's how much they have taken care to see to it that our minds get oriented to the Parama Purushartha very early in life. That's the beauty of studying our scriptures. For example, Swamiji says, Chidrupi Paradevata Bhagavati Shri Rajarajeshwari. Chidrupi. Chidrupi. Ambal Sri Rajarajeshwari is Chidrupi. She is Paradevata and she is Bhagavati. It is the feminine gender of Bhagavan. Bhagavati. Shri Rajarajeshwari. The expression Chidrupi means that the goddess Rajeshwari, Rajarajeshwari, is in the form of consciousness or of the nature of consciousness. Her essential nature is consciousness. The Namarupa Rajeshwari or Raja Rajeshwari is not her original nature. This has to be absorbed and understood. This is the Namarupa is Maya Kalpita, whereas it is a superimposition. The Namarupa is a superimposition on the original nature of Sri Rajarajeshwari. Sri Rajarajeshwari's original nature is Chidrupi, Chidrupaha, Chaitanya Rupaha. So that is the first nature of the Atma that we need to internalize, we need to do mananam, we need to do more of nididhyasanam, follow along with Swamiji's nididhyasanam meditation sessions, and claim our original nature, which is we are all Chid Swarupa. Moving on to the second feature of the Atma. Atma Swatantra Swarupa. Swatantra Swarupa. It is an independent principle. Independent principle. Not dependent on anything else is independence. Atma Swatantra Swarupa. It's of the nature of independence, its own nature. It cannot be otherwise. What is one's nature cannot act or behave otherwise. Like we saw, heat is the nature of fire. It cannot be otherwise. Coldness is the nature of water. It cannot be otherwise. If it looks otherwise when water boils, it means that it is because of some other principle that it is not living its nature. But left by itself, it settles down to coolness after a while. So, water's nature is coolness, heat is the nature of fire. Likewise, Atma's nature is Chaitanyam and Swatantrata or independence. Why? Because it is of the nature of consciousness and does not, important, does not depend on matter, does not depend on matter either for its production, janakam, or its existence. Let me repeat that sentence because that is the very definition of independence. This is because it is of the nature of consciousness and it does not depend on matter either for its production or its existence. Are you able to understand? Swamiji asks, very in a very concerned tone. Previously, Swamiji had said that matter does not have consciousness as its intrinsic property. If matter did, if matter did possess consciousness as Chaitanya Gunakam or its intrinsic property, then consciousness would have to depend on matter. It would have to depend on matter. If matter were to produce consciousness, then too consciousness would have to depend on matter. Since consciousness does not belong to matter and is not, that is, does not belong to matter means gunakam, matter is neither Chaitanya Gunakam and is not produced by matter or Chaitanya Janakam. Matter is not Chaitanya Janakam. Consciousness is an independent entity. It does not depend on matter either for its production or its existence. In Sanskrit, it is called Swatantraha. Swatantraha, an independent principle. Swatantraha or independent principle, whereas matter is paratantraha. Paratantraha means it is dependent on another for its very existence. Matter does not have existence of its own. It has to depend on some other principle for that principle to lend existence to matter. Very important. We will now move on to the third nature of the Atma. We will examine the third nature of the Atma, namely Atma Nirguna Swarupaha. Nirguna Swarupaha. You will notice the word Swarupa occurring in all these three features unchangedly. We saw it is Chaitanya Swarupaha, it is Swatantra Swarupaha. Now we are looking at Atma's feature being Nirguna Swarupaha. It is a property less principle. It doesn't have any property. Its nature is to be propertyless. How can it have any gunas or properties? Since the Atma is non material in nature, it does not have any of the attributes that belong to matter. What emerges out of this discussion is that matter and spirit, or matter and Atma, are diagonally opposite to each other in all these features. If you carefully observe these discussions on the nature of the Atma, it would be very interesting to contrast it with the nature of the Anatma or matter. So, since the Atma is non material in nature, it does not have any of the attributes that belong to matter. Whatever attribute is known, they are all material attributes. Material attributes. Either perceived directly, either perceived directly by our eyes or perceived with various instruments. All attributes we know belong to matter. Shabda, sound, sparsha, touch, Rupa, forms and colors, Rasa, taste, and Gandha, smell. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Sound, touch, forms and colors, taste, and smell. They belong to the five elements: Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, Apaha, water, and Prithvi, the earth. The five elements and the five elementals. Elementals meaning they're the products of the five elements. All of them have these five attributes: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. The Atma is free from all these attributes. Therefore, the Atma is Nirgunaha. Nirgunaha. Agunaha. Or Nirgunaha. Its nature is to be Nirgunaha. It does not have any attributes and is free of all properties. It does not have any attributes and is free of all properties. This then is the third feature. Very interesting. We looked at Atma Chaitanya Swarupaha. Swarupaha to be underlined. Atma Swatantra Swarupaha. Swarupa to be underlined. And Atma Nirguna Swarupaha. Again, the word Swarupa to be underlined. The word Swarupa is of the nature of the nature of consciousness, of the nature of independence, and of the nature of being property less. We will continue this wonderful discussion and study in the upcoming capsules. Hari Om. Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyad Sajjana Shantimapnuyad Shanto Muccheta Bandhebhyah Muktaschanyan Vimochayet Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om